Uni and Mally, living life like a movie, and we can see clearly from our vantage point. Uni and Mally, loving life like a movie. Won't you come see clearly from our vantage point, from our vantage point, from our vantage point.
Alright guys, thank you for joining us. This is the second official episode of Vantage Point. Today we're going to be reviewing a film that really kind of caught us both by surprise, Dr. Sleep. And we will briefly go over The Shining, which is a prequel to Dr. Sleep. So thank you guys for being here. Please follow us on Instagram. It's at Vantage Point Family Show is the Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube, and the link to the YouTube is in our Instagram bio. Alright, so let's jump right into this. Dr. Sleep, 2 hours and 47 minutes. Very long film, but it's 3 hours of basically completely captivating horror. And I would say it's just like psychological action non-stop. It was amazing. It doesn't feel like it's 3 hours. I honestly wish a film was longer. It was so good.
I wish it was a TV series.
I wish it was just on all the time.
Just keep watching it.
Yeah, it was so good. I hate to like give away how good it was. Alright, so let's get into it. People who have seen The Shining, you will really appreciate this film. They do make a lot of references to The Shining. They make a lot of references to The Shining. We personally didn't enjoy The Shining. I am afraid to even like say that out loud, because I know in the
people love The Shining.
Yeah, like in the film community, The Shining is like this classic, like cult classic film, and like I did not enjoy it. I tried to pretend like it was the 80s, and I was like used to 80s level production, and I could enjoy it in some way. I really tried to be objective and to kind of take it for what it was, but it just was awful. The Shining was just awful.
It was slow.
It was
boring.
so slow. It was boring. The acting was horrible.
The acting was okay.
The acting was horrible. The mother, she was a good actor to watch. But that's the horror, was her acting. Horrible. It was painful. Watching The Shining was painful. And the only reason we watched it was in preparation for Dr. Sleep, which I'm glad that we did, because like I said, if you've seen The Shining, it gives you a different appreciation for the Dr. Sleep movie. So I'm glad that we did watch it. But it is a very drastic contrast between the quality of the films. So Dr. Sleep, the opening scene is very similar to the opening scene of The Shining, with like
so much shorter.
The nature, and it plays like the same song, which just is so creepy. Like when we started watching The Shining, I thought like, oh, this is about to be mad scary. Like I was like trying to cuddle up, because the score for The Shining is horrifying. It's super really scary. they play clips from The Shining in the beginning of Dr. Sleep, and then the story is basically picking up right where The Shining ends. So one thing from The Shining that they kind of reference in Dr. Sleep, Danny's mom always called him Doc, like his whole life. And I just thought that was interesting that, like, in Dr. Sleep, he is working in hospice care, so that's how he gets, like, the nickname Dr. Sleep, which is cute. So you have to be careful what you speak over your kids. Like, she called him Doc his whole life, and he became a doctor in a way, so, like, that's cool. Danny, when they present him as an adult in the film, is now using alcohol and drugs and a bunch of different things to dull his shine, and those, like, his words. And so they're presenting him as like this like unfit hero. What stuck out about that to me is kind of like generational curses. Like, he didn't even grow up with his father, and he still ended up just becoming an alcoholic, having anger issues and all that stuff. He still sees Dick. So if you've seen The Shining, there's a character, Dick, that also shines, that Danny meets as a kid, that dies in The Shining, and he can talk to him because he shines. So he sees him as an adult still, and he's kind of like a conscience figure, you know, that is popping in and saying like, what are you doing? Like, why are you on drugs? Like, what are you doing? So that was cool. Stop that he's there.
Drugs, Daddy.
Yes. The villains in this film, Rose the Hat and her family. So this particular group of people, they need something called steam. If you've read the books or whatever, you know what this is about. From shiners to remain immortal. So they're kind of like vampires, essentially. Like, they suck steam from people who shine in order to like stay young and immortal forever. But they're really scary because they kill children, they kill teenagers, men, women, boys, girls. Mainly they don't care. But it in the film they're showing mainly like children that they're killing. So you really hate this particular group. Like, you're like, oh my god, like, who would kill a kid? So you really like hate this villain, and they're doing a great job. They do enjoy it. They enjoy killing and eating children. So that's awful. So from the trailer, you know that Danny is approached by a little girl who can shine, who basically picks up on this like super evil energy from Rose the Hat and her crew, and she reaches out to Danny for help, and that's like the premise of the story. So when she comes to him, a cool thing that he said is like, everyone has a little bit of shine and they don't even know it. So if you've seen The Shining or you read the books, the Stephen King books, like, shine is not ever really explicitly described what it is. It's kind of like a telepathic ability, a spiritual ability. Like, they can see the past, the future, ghosts, things like that. Like, it manifests in different ways in each character that shines. But that was interesting to me that he said like everyone has a little bit and they don't really notice it, and we'll get to that in the discussion questions. And he tells the girl, like, listen, like, just pretend like you don't have these powers. Like, hide from it, you know, do whatever you have to do to dull your shine so that these people don't so that these people don't bother you. And that was also striking because it's like, we tell kids that now, like, not even in regards to shine, but we tell people like, yo, don't be so flamboyant and outgoing and so whatever, and then people won't pick on you, people won't bother you. So, you know, that is horrible that that's what he told her, that's like the messaging that, you know, he's giving her. But adults do often project their fears onto kids. So, like, because of what he experienced as a kid, having the ability to shine, the traumas that he experienced, not really having a mentor to help him, like, navigate it, he's like, hey, little girl, like, you need to just, like, drop this altogether. Like, pretend like you don't have this ability so that, you know, you don't have to encounter these scary, dangerous things. And he probably meant well in doing that, but I think just, as adults, like, you have to be careful. Like, just because you're afraid of something doesn't mean that a kid is afraid of it, you know?
And so it wasn't even his kid.
It wasn't. So it's even worse. It's even worse. So the brilliant thing about this movie, one, the imagery that they provide you with, it's very almost kind of trippy the way that they show stuff, because all the battles they're fighting are battles that are in the mind. So no one's fist fighting, no one's like really shooting each other necessarily or stabbing or anything. It's like it's battles in the mind. It's like people's psychological fears and traumas, and then their powers also, the powers that they have with their mind, that's what they're using to fight in this movie. And so the way those things are depicted is just really cool. Like the file cabinets and all that stuff is just like, it's really crazy. You have to see it. We saw it in IMAX, and it was horrifying because the screen is like wrapping around you and all these things are happening and playing out that a lot of it looked like stuff you would like dream about. Like if you have really like cerebral, like lucid dreams, the movie looks like a dream. Like it's beautifully shot, the way that they show like what's going on in their minds and stuff. So I think that was beautiful. And then when they go back to the Overlook, so if you've seen like the movie posters or the trailers or anything, you know that like the big thing is Danny has to go back to the Overlook Hotel to face everything that's in there, you know, in order to defeat these like evil people. Right. And that to me is like really symbolic of like people having to face their traumas and things to move forward, because that's literally like what he has to do. Leading up to that, there's some really beautiful scenes similar to in The Shining. They're driving up the mountain and there's like these beautiful wide scenic shots of like the mountain, the hotel. Same super creepy music. The score for this was even better than The Shining, and it's really beautiful.
The whole movie is just better than The Shining.
It's better in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of things I loved about it. The actors' performances, the pace of the movie, even though it's 2 hours and 47 minutes, it doesn't feel like it at all.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't feel like it at all.
You enjoy every second.
You're enjoying every minute of it. You wish that it would go longer, you know, because it's so good. And they paced it out really well. But it is super scary.
I love how they like present their horror too.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, jump scare, oh, here's a zombie, oh, like that kind of stuff. It's kind of like mental horror, if that makes sense. Because like some of the stuff is like,
thriller.
if you were, like if you were in the situation as this person, I'm not going to say anything, but like if you were in the situation as this person getting mentally attacked by this other person, you'd be horrified,
freaking out
as to like what's happening. And the characters act so well what's happening that they even show like how horrified they are, which makes you horrified for them and makes you horrified for yourself. So it's kind of like a triple, quadruple
circle of horror.
Yeah,
no, it's spectacular. So I gave the film an A+. There was nothing lacking. There was nothing about it. Like I didn't leave saying, I wish they would have ... It's like they hit everything. Like
I
casting,
wish they would have.
The actors' performances,
Nothing.
the score, the pace of the movie, the CGI, the effects, the sound
CGI
effects.
was good. The sound effects were
everything
good.
was stellar. So like it was lacking nothing.
Even
so that
the
for me
quote
is an
unquote
A+.
smallest scenes were perfect.
Malachi.
Same. A+.
A+, yeah. Especially compared to Shining. Oh my god. It was like
Shining was like a
million times better.
D-.
It was an F for me. The Shining would be.
It was just bad. F. It was slows. Trash.
Definitely go see Dr. Sleep immediately. Take someone with you because it's super scary, and just be prepared to really see a lot of beautiful things, and then also like think about a lot of concepts that are presented in the film.